So today we are going with the nutrition. This is the part 2 of our series. Here we'll be talking about the steps or the process of nutrition. So first we need to know what are nutrients or nutritions. Like organisms need nutrients to maintenance, like for the maintenance of our life. Okay, and nutrients can also be called as food or substance. These can also be called as food or substance. If I will write food, this means we are taking or intake of nutrients, or if I write nutrients, this means like we have intake of food or substance. Okay, so now what kind of substance or what kind of food is required for our body or to run metabolism? What kind of nutrients are required? Metabolism. So the nutrients can be carbohydrates, fats, protein, lipids, and these all. Okay, I have discussed that all in the last video, but I am giving here the overview of that all. Now nutrients are important or very essential for our body. How? If we want to go in our car, this means to run a car we require a fuel. Okay, we require a fuel, which means fuel is essential for that. And now essential means like we have taken outside of their body, like we are not taking that from the car, we are intaking it from outside. This means this is essential. And non-essential, which is not required for our body because that is present in our body. Okay, so this was difference between essential and non-essential. So if you want to run a car, this means we need to intake a fuel inside the car so that it could move to run our body, or to like every metabolism should run, or every enzyme should do its work for all of the life maintenance process. Nutritions are very important just because it provides us as energy. How? If we like break down carbohydrate into micro, like these are the macromolecules, and if we divide into micro, carbohydrate is like divided into glucose, then that provide energy. I've done that all in the last video. If you have not checked that, if you want, so that you should go through that. And this is known as the, like these are the essential part, and these all also provide us the energy. And some other nutrients can be like water, which are like very important, electrolytes and minerals as well. Some vitamins can also be, and these all are very essential, very like important for our body to run our metabolism activities or metabolism processes. So this means nutritions. Now if we write a definition for nutrition, this means nutritions are very important for our body, and which help to run a metabolic activities if we will take intake of the nutrition in our body, so that it could run, otherwise it is not possible. Okay, to run or maybe run metabolism. So this means nutritions are very important for our body. So now we are going with the steps or processes of nutrition. So now how many steps are there? First step is known as ingestion. Okay, so now what does it do? It is like taking in of a complex food. How? Taking in or intake of a food. Okay, intake of food. How is it so? Like if we talk about our mouth, if you want to do digestive process in our body, here's the mouth. With this mean we have just like intake of anything. I have just eaten a chips. Okay, so that has gone through a mouth. This mean the part or anything from which it is going inside. This means intake of anything is known as ingestion. Here intake. So now we are talking here about nutrition. So this mean intake of nutritions are done in this ingestion process. Okay, ingestion is like very simple. Just when we intake of nutrition or intake of food or intake of substance, that is the first step, which means ingestion. Or second step is digestion. How is digestion? Now let's begin. Digestion is like a breakdown of complex particle Complex particle. If you're using complex, this means we are talking here about the macromolecule. So how digestion means the breakdown of complex food particles into a smaller particles. We have very detailed topic in our book, like in our 11th class book, digestive system. There we will be only talking about the breakdown, how, which enzymes have been mixed with that, how that process happening. So digestion is the breakdown of a complex food particle into smaller particles, smaller forms. Okay, digestion could be happen like simply, even we can say that the breakdown of complex particle, or this is also known as conversion of complex, like conversion of indiffusible. Diffusible means break, like which could be breakdown, but here this means indiffusible. Again, we're talking about the macromolecules which cannot be divided. So conversion of indiffusible to diffusible particles is also known as digestion. So digestion in our body happens through the two processes. Let me mark here, like digestion could be happen through two processes. One is chemical digestion, and second is mechanical digestion. Okay, so first we are going with the mechanical, or okay, let's go with the chemical digestion. So in this, chemicals are used. How chemicals are used? If just food has been intaken in our body, in a mouth, okay, this means when we just entered anything in our mouth, that happened through the ingestion process, and that has just been entered, and now it have to break down so that it could pass through the body through esophagus is very like thin tube that could not allow a big particle. So digestion is very important process. Intake of food, then the breakdown of food. So chemical and mechanical. Chemical means if it had entered in the mouth, to make or to chew that food, some enzymes or some glands would be mixed with that so that it could break down easily. Here we are talking about the salivary gland. How saliva is the liquid substance present in our mouth which help in the softness, or which even help us to chew food easily, or it also provide lubrication to our food as well. Okay, so when just saliva has been mixed, there is a salivary gland in our mouth. There are the three kinds of salivary gland in our mouth. We don't have that topic right now, but we'll discuss later on. So here chemical digestion means some chemicals, like important chemicals, are released to take or intake of the food. This means salivary gland has been released in our body, or like released in our mouth, so that it could provide a lubrication or softness to our food, so that it could go down very easily. That is known as the salivary gland work. And here in salivary gland we do have salivary amylase. This mean, like, what does this do? It is like conversion of starch into sugar or maltose. These are like processes. These are very long processes. This mean not only like chemical digestion is happen through the sugar, like salivary gland. It is the big process. This means the conversion of starch is happened first, then it's break down into sugar, then to maltose. These are like, simply means chemical digestion is what, when the chemicals are released inside our body or inside our mouth when just we have intake of the food. So salivary gland has been released. This means gland or some chemicals have been released. This is in the chemical digestion. Whereas if we talk about the mechanical digestion, that is like conversion of big particles. How is it so? First, if we talk about the teeth, here we have the teeth. What does that do? That help us in the chewing, like breakdown, or that's also known as mastication process. Not only that, this means like mechanical digestion is physical digestion, also known as physical. Let me write here, also known as physical digestion. This means in this not chemicals are used, but whereas the physical digestion happened. This happens in our body, like in our digestive system, two process happen. First one is teeth, second one is stomach. Just food enter in the mouth, then teeth start chewing it, or that process also known as mastication process. Secondly, it has been entered in our stomach. So how is that physical done in stomach? That have the glandular, or that help us in churning as well. This means this process does not require any kind of chemical, whereas in chemical digestion we do require chemical, or like some chemicals to break down or to run the processes. So this was chemical digestion, this was mechanical digestion. If we recall this all, there are the steps. First one is ingestion, which means like intake of the food, or second one digestion, which is breakdown of complex food particles or diffusible particles, or like conversion of indivisible to diffusible. And this digestion could be of two types: chemical digestion, where chemicals are very important. Without chemical, these processes are not like done. And whereas in mechanical digestion, these are the mechanical is also known as physical digestion here. This means conversion of big particles into small. Whereas if we talk about teeth, that help us in the chewing, that process also known as mastication process. And secondly, we have stomach, which is known as glandular or the churning processes. Not only this, we have some further steps, but we will discuss that later on. Thank you for watching.